Whoo. Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3, deep breath. Okay, now let's get into this.
Oh dear God, it's Barbie all over again.
Yes. This is where we are in the world. Out of the clear blue sky.
Are those real people, or are those like dolls in some
The
way?
people on the left of the image pro are the real people, and the ones on the right are their Unreal Engine avatars.
All right.
That's.
I got to jump in here quickly because I do Fortnite community streams and stuff like this. And let's just go to the highlight of a battle royale here. Everyone's here played a battle royale. There's no way in hell someone in a wheelchair is going to be running around terrain, out running a storm, or
I thought he was about to say running around Tourette's.
Well, can you imagine somebody who is mobily restricted in real life getting on their computer and being like, you know what? I feel like doing that over again. Let's do that some more.
But they make those games. They make those games on Steam as parody.
Oh, indeed.
I'm sorry.
We're going to dive into this, but let me grab some super chats here first.
Yeah.
We got loaded up. We got stacked real early today. So let me.
I thought you'd never call.
No, I'm calling right now, bro.
Hey, Mike, I got a question. When you're out there farming the tortilla flats, do you really want a wheelchair 9% of the time? Do you feel like you're including everybody or no?
No, it's not efficient at all. If it were a Mexican plantation out here in South Carolina, which is where I'm at, they would not be rehired for the next harvest.
Are you sure this isn't an advertisement for a gym membership for people in desperate need?
No, it's an advertisement so you stay fat so they can sell more soap. Hello, Fight
No,
Club.
I figured it out, Steven. You're onto it. This is an issue of soap because each of these individuals probably uses more soap due to real estate issues than the average person. I get it now.
The end of the day, teaming up with Epic Games and whatever else this sounds like a farce. It makes no sense. Everyone plays games the same way they watch movies, read books, listen to audio, all the same stuff. Escapism. That's the plan thing they're not realizing here. The escapism is so you can play a character, go on the hero's arc, the hero's journey. The whole point of game from point A to point B, whether an RPG or a fighting game, to win that match is because you are trying to play that character. You have a favorite character, you have a favorite story, a favorite game. This is again detached from reality and trying to preach that they know what they're talking about, what people want. And the only thing they want is your money.
Dove is partnering with the gaming industry allies to help level up the virtual world. Together, we're increasing representation and diversity in gaming for women and girls, reaching them where they are with self-esteem education.
Because cleanliness just isn't enough.
Hold on that for a second. This is the part where it kind of gets off the rails for me. Gaming has become the #1 form of entertainment for teenage girls in the U.S. 83%, I guess, of teenage girls who they sampled say that they play video games in their spare time. 60% of them before the age of 10.
Which makes them not teen girls. But who's counting?
The stress relief and brain stimulation from gaming can have therapeutic benefits, and women and girls are using gaming to make connections and build communities in a way that lets them express their true selves.
Wow, that's a potpourri of modern phrases.
We're getting there. I'm going to stop after this paragraph for a moment because this is the part that really struck me. But when it comes to diverse representation of women and girls, the industry is falling short. According to Dove.
Soap brand.
Listen to this next sentence carefully. New research from Dove, co-published with the NGO Women in Games and the Center for Appearance Research, reveals
by the way, needed an E after that so they could have care. I really downvote them for not following through with the acronym. Come on.
It reveals these unrealistic beauty standards in the gaming industry make girl gamers feel misrepresented. Girls agree that the lack of inclusivity in gaming is an issue. 74% of the girls wish more female characters in games looked like women in real life. Oh, do they? While 62% of women feel misrepresented in gaming. Let me stop right there.
Oh my God.
Let me preface you with a thought on this. And then I want Melanie and Lorena's opinion. I find it interesting every time that we get some of these types of groundbreaking surveys, they always seem to be nonprofit organizations or NGOs that are named such things like Women in Gaming or Women in Games and the Center for Appearance Research. Basically, they come from fly-by-night, who made these things up, research entities whose own names seem to suggest that they are going after a particular outcome in their research. This does not seem, these things are never scientific. There is no link here to the actual survey. There are no crosstabs. There is no information on the sample. There is no information on the sample size, what the margin of error is, what the actual questions that were asked to conduct this poll. Was it an honest poll? Was it a push poll? And by that, I mean, did they go out and say, you know, do you play video games? Do you like playing video games? Yes or no, as young women? Or did they go out and ask stuff like, do the girls in video games look like you? That's one question that I could get 74% of anybody. If you ask me, do you look like the guys in the video games that you play? My answer is going to be no. And
no,
then
you're just being sexist. You're just being sexist. How many times have you and me? 74%. You and me have tried to start protests a number of times to add love handles to Ryu and Ken, and nobody listens to us. And now you deny this to women.
Nobody
deny this to women, sir.
No, hold up. Let's see. You guys forget. These guys forgot one important factor when it comes to doing this survey. That's why they have character creation. You can be whatever you want and represent yourself.
Well,
and if you're playing too many games and you don't feel represented, guess what? Put down the controller, go to the gym, and change your sandwich for some lettuce.
Yep. What is going on here, Melanie? Do you feel misrepresented in games?
I honestly do I feel like characters look like me? Not that many, but I don't care because I don't play video games to play as myself. I want to play video games as like an escape and as a character that can inspire me, and that's what Lara Croft was and still is for me. Classic Lara. The new one, not so much, but yeah, I like to go to the gym, and I like to, when I'm at the gym, think about Lara Croft pushing a boulder right now. This is going to help inspire me to keep on going, get those last couple of reps in, all that sort of stuff. So also the data here, I just feel like is completely inaccurate because everyone knows who plays games with girls, or especially if you're a girl gamer, you know, we like our characters to look beautiful. Any opportunity that we can actually customize our character, we want to make her look like a bombshell or like super cute, whichever that is, but we want her to be beautiful. And I think when you think about a power fantasy, part of a power fantasy for a woman is to be as beautiful as possible. So this math ain't math in here for me.
Does that include jiggle physics, by the way?
It depends. I think sometimes that it can be a bit silly looking. I think that there's a practical use for jiggle physics if it's somewhat believable, but I do think that some of them can be ridiculous if the titties are like both have a mind of their own and are
That's the early days of jiggle physics. Lorena, help me out real quick, Lorena. On that second paragraph, I just want you to tell me, will this work with my wife? Because if she gets mad at me for playing too much Rocket League, can I just say to her, the stress relief and brain stimulation from gaming can have therapeutic benefits. And I am using Rocket League to make connections and build communities in a way that lets me express my true self. Will that work? If it works for Dove, maybe it'll work for me.
Oh, hell no. I want to know who made this up. I really do know who made this, who made this up. I mean, you get therapeutic benefits from playing video games, but you also get therapeutic benefits by throwing rocks at stuff or punching pillows or stuff like that. So I really don't know where they're coming from with this. If anything, I think that they're making it up as an excuse for this BS survey that they have have going on. I've played video games since I was 7 years old. Usually a lot of first-person shooters to drive my mother nuts with what I was doing or whatever. And yeah, most of the gaming space and pretty much, I mean, now less than what I guess was then. there were many more like males in the gaming space. Nobody freaking cared. Can you game or not? You gonna bring your A game or not? Where you game at? Where you game at? I don't want to hear you complain. I would like play with my nephew, you know, play a Madden on the PlayStation, and he would cry. I'm like, no, I'm whipping your ass. You're gonna let some girl whip your ass? Come on, come on.
Yeah, I think it's just like there's such a narcissistic focus on almost anything, any type of entertainment right now, to where the focus is just like, oh, how does this make you feel about yourself? You have to see yourself in everything, and everything around the world always has to be all about you. And the problem with that is you can't represent every single person. And not only that, but video games are supposed to be an experience. It's supposed to be a fun thing. It's not just about, it's not, oh, okay, here, let me look at myself. Let me
want to role play. How dare you?
Oh, yeah, it's like, let it be a game. But also, I just think with games in general these days, and one reason why I play so much more of the classic stuff is that they try to appeal so much to the lowest baseline of gamer, which anybody used to. You were called yourself a gamer, you were proud of it, and meant you could overcome challenges. And now it's just like anybody can be a gamer, because these games are targeted toward people who otherwise wouldn't even be playing games. They just want to look at a bunch of pretty pictures on the screen, and they don't want too much of a challenge. It's just a completely different market now. And I think that's one reason why there is so much obsession with this representation and all this kind of stuff, because video games aren't even really video games anymore compared to what they used to be.
No, and Melanie is absolutely 100% right. It used to be with games, you died a lot. You expected to die a lot, because the learning curve was so steep. But that's what you expected. You know, talked with your friends who played it. Yeah, I did this, try this. And you got better, and you got better, and you got better, because that's the whole thing with video games. And to tag on to what Stephen was saying, I work in STEM. I'm an engineer in STEM. I cannot tell you how many engineers grew up playing video games. Why? Problem solving, spatial analysis, hand-eye coordination. We're not even going to talk about how many flight pilots are used to, you know, playing video games as they grew up. That was like expected, you know.
Well, they do the simulations to pass their tests.
Well, it's the same.
And Reina was got some nationwide attention.
Sorry, I was putting it right when you did. Yep.
Yeah, but it's the same thing too. It's the same way we're looking at fandoms with the whole Star Trek stuff. Star Trek inspired a lot of people to become engineers, as Lorena is. It all falls hand in hand. And at the end of the day, the corporations don't care about you. They really don't. They're not doing it for you. And I'm surprised that Epic is doing this. There's an underlying tone I don't think anyone's talked on. The reason why they're using the Unreal 5 engine, because it just got released and people are making stuff in that. But they're targeting the younger audience that plays Fortnite, that watches all those people.
I would just like to congratulate Lorena on being the first of us to appear on late night television. I mean,
it's a real thing. Fox News on the Gutfeld show picked up Lorena's tweet late last night. I had crashed like a sack of potatoes. I'd been going like 14 hours that day. And I woke up this morning and my phone was blowing up with, did you see Lorena's stuff? Lorena was on Fox. Lorena went on Fox News. Let's see this tweet. So congratulations. That is incredible. But yeah, this is on this topic. So when you saw this, Lorena, what's the first thing that went through your head?
Where's my camera?
Well, two things went through my head. One, that I have to thank Gene Gentry for bringing that whole Dove Epic Games thing to my attention on Twitter, because other than that, I wouldn't have saw it at all. Maybe three things. Two, that I loved to say how much Chun-Li was actually my favorite character, and I don't look Asian. Do I look Asian to you? That's one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite games, Street Fighter. And the third one is, wow, I can't wait to blow up my graphic artist and my fine artist for my avatar. But I was just in shock that showed up. I had no idea that it was gonna blow up this way. And most of my frustration was this: when you saw the whole Dove commercial, it didn't seem to be an actual problem until she started taking her makeup off, because I know plenty of full-figured women who look beautiful. So it's like, we have to look like dumpy and unattractive in order to feel safe playing video games? I don't think so.
Renegade.